Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. I said I was gonna do it, you didn't believe me, but here it is. Thank you again to Gearbox and to 2K for giving me early access to this material so I can make this video for you. Today we're going to be going over Moze and Zane skill trees, so let's get right into it with Moze. First in the skill tree we've got Biofuel. Whenever Moze or Iron Bear ignites an enemy, they both regenerate health for a short time. Starts out with 0.7% per second for health regen and 0.5% per second for Iron Bear armor regen. Dropping 5 points in that tree will bring that up to 3.5% per second for health regen and 2.5% per second for Iron Bear armor regen. Next up we've got Big Surplus. While Moze's action skill is cooling down, she deals bonus incendiary damage. Starts out with 5% of gun damage. 3 points in the tree will bring that up to 15% of gun damage. Next up, Really Big Guns. Iron Bear gains increased damage. 4% additional Iron Bear damage with 5 points brings that up to 20%. Next up, Double Time. While Moze's action skill is active, she and Iron Bear gain increased movement speed. Starts at 4%. 3 points in the tree will bring that up to 12% additional movement speed. Next, Harmonious Havoc. Moze gains increased gun damage for each weapon, shield, and grenade that matches the element of her gun. Gun damage 2% per matching item. 5 points in a tree will bring that up to 10% bonus per matching item. Next up, Explosive Fury. Moze and Iron Bear gain increased status effect damage and status effect chance. Status effect chance begins at 9% with the effect damage at 5%. 3 points in the tree brings those to 27% for status effect chance and 15% for status effect damage. Next up, Fired Up. Whenever Moze or Iron Bear applies a status effect to an enemy, she gains increased fire rate for a short time. This effect stacks. 5% fire rate for a duration of 12 seconds, with max stacks being 5. Next we have Nitro Trinadium engines. Pretty sure I said that right. Nitro Trinadium. Just kind of rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Iron Bear gains increased maximum fuel and action skill cooldown rate. 5% maximum fuel with 4% action skill cooldown rate. 5 in the tree brings that to 25% maximum fuel and 20% action skill cooldown rate. Next up, Never Gonna Give You Up. Whenever Moze or Iron Bear applies a status effect to an enemy, Iron Bear gains fuel. This skill has diminishing returns. Fuel returned up to 5%. 5 points in the tree will bring that up to 25%. Next up, Feature Creep. Iron Bear gains increased damage and damage resistance. 18% Iron Bear damage with 45% Iron Bear damage resistance. Next, Limit Break. Moze gains increased action skill cooldown rate whenever she or Iron Bear inflict a status effect on an enemy. This effect stacks. Starts out at 4% cooldown rate for a duration of 12 seconds, max stacks 10. 3 points in a tree will bring that cooldown rate to 12%. Superior Firepower is up next. Whenever Moze or Iron Bear inflicts a status effect on an enemy, they gain increased status effect damage. 20% status effect damage for a duration of 8 seconds with 5 max stacks. Then our Capstone, Running on Fumes. Whenever Moze or Iron Bear ignites an enemy, Iron Bear does not consume fuel for a short time. 6 seconds duration. Then we move up to our new action skill, Iron Cub. Moze summons Iron Cub in place of Iron Bear. Iron Cub equips 2 of whatever weapon is equipped in the remaining action skill slot. While deployed, Iron Bear follows Moze and will target and attack enemies for the duration. Skills that affect Iron Bear affect Iron Cub. Iron Cub still uses fuel, but uses less of it and deals less damage, because it's smaller. On to the first augment, we have Baby Nukes. Whenever Iron Cub is deployed or destroyed, it triggers a nuclear explosion, dealing massive radiation damage. 33,179. Next up, Efficiency Engine. Moze gains increased gun damage. The longer Iron Cub has been active, the greater the bonus. Gun damage, 0.5% per second. Then we move over to Fuel for the Fire. Whenever Moze or Iron Cub inflict a status effect on an enemy, Iron Cub's armor is restored. Armor restored 12% of the max armor. And finally, we have My Little Friend. Iron Cub spawns with an incendiary Vladoff assault rifle in addition to Iron Cub's other weapons. Well, there you go. There's Moze's new tree. A lot of potential for this one, so I'm excited to try this out. Be sure to check out the stream on Thursday for some gameplay with Moze. Good stuff. All right, now we're going to take a look at Zane's new tree, the Professional. First up, we have Man of Focus. Activating an action skill grants Zane increased accuracy and handling for a short time. This effect stacks. Accuracy 7%, handling 7.4% for a duration of 12 seconds with 10 max stacks. 5 points in a tree will bring that accuracy to 29%, handling to 28.6, still a 12-second duration and max stacks of 10. Next up, Renegade. After scoring a critical hit, Zane regenerates health for a short time. Health regeneration up to 0.5% of max health per second for a duration of 12 seconds. 3 in a tree brings that up to 1.5% of max health regen. Next, we've got Deja Vu. Whenever Zane kills an enemy with a critical hit, there's a chance for 1 ammo to be added to his magazine. Chance to add ammo, 11%. 5 in the tree brings that up to 56%. Next up, we've got Headsman's Hand. It's a kill skill. Zane gains increased critical hit damage. This effect stacks twice. Starts out at 5% crit hit damage for a duration of 8 seconds. 5 in the tree brings that crit hit damage up to 25%. Next, we've got Tunnel Vision. While moving, Zane gains increased accuracy and handling. The quicker Zane moves, the greater the bonus. Accuracy up to 10% at default walk speed. Handling up to 11% at default walk speed. 3 in the tree brings those percentages to 30% and 33%. Next up, Commitment. Another kill skill. Zane gains increased gun damage and action skill cooldown rate. Gun damage 5%, cooldown rate 5%. 5 in the tree brings that up to 25% each. Next, we've got Fugitive. Zane can sprint and shoot at the same time, just like Moze. Pretty self-explanatory there. Next, Domino Effect. Whenever Zane scores a critical hit, he gains increased fire rate and reload speed for a short time. If he scores a critical hit with his action skill, he doubles this effect. Reload speed plus 4%, fire rate plus 3%, duration of 8%. 5 in the tree will bring those percentages to 20% reload speed and 15% fire rate. Next, we have the Art of War. After activating an action skill or action skill ability, Zane's next shot fired from his weapon deals increased damage. This effect stacks. Gun damage 3%, max stacks 10. 5 in the tree will bring that gun damage up to 15%. Next, we've got Sheer Will. Zane gains increased action skill cooldown rate. Scoring a critical hit increases this effect. This effect stacks. Cooldown rate 5%. Cooldown rate 2.5% after a critical hit. Duration 8 seconds. Stacks 15. Dropping 3 in the tree will bring your cooldown rate to 15% and your cooldown rate after critical hit to 7.5%. Next up, we've got Eraser. Zane's critical hits pierce through enemies for all weapons, dealing increased damage for every enemy pierced. Can you say bore? Pierce shot damage 40% per enemy pierced. Dropping 3 in a tree will bring that up to 120% per enemy pierced. A lot of potential in this perk right here. Finally, our Capstone, our man Flint. While aiming down sights, Zane's weapons deal bonus damage and automatically apply their status effect when he scores a critical hit. 25% of damage dealt. Now let's take a look at the action skill. Mantis Shoulder Cannon. Zane equips a shoulder-mounted cannon. Pressing F or Q, which I'm assuming on console is going to be your action skill or your grenade button. Pressing those causes Zane to fire his cannon at his crosshairs and consume 1 charge. Max charge is 3, cooldown 12 seconds, damage 6,185. Now onto the first augment, we've got Colder Shoulder. Converts Zane's Mantis shoulder cannon damage to cryo damage, but deals reduced damage. Additionally, Zane gains increased cryo freeze rate. Cannon damage negative 10% and freeze rate plus 20%. Moving on to Wet Work. Whenever Zane kills an enemy with his shoulder cannon, that enemy explodes into an elemental puddle. Explosion damage 4,282, puddle damage 2379 per second. Next, No Way Out. Whenever Zane damages an enemy with his shoulder cannon, that enemy is pulled to him and takes increased damage for a short time. Additionally, Zane's Mantis shoulder cannon cooldown time is increased. Cooldown 20%, damage increase plus 25%, duration 6 seconds. Next, we've got Brain Drain. Whenever Zane kills an enemy with a critical hit from his shoulder cannon, 2 charges are instantly returned. And finally, we've got Proliferation. Zane's Mantis shoulder cannon gains additional charges and deals increased damage based on the number of charges remaining. This grants 2 additional charges and gives you 20% more cannon damage per charge. Well, there you have it. There's Zane and Moze. I hope you guys liked what you saw. I got some pretty good feedback about the last video about how we went about doing this, being clear and concise, so we decided to take the same direction with this video, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to sub. I'll post a video sometime in the next 6 months, I'm sure. But thank you very much for watching, guys. Be sure to check out the channel over at twitch.tv/dammit2hell. I'm live every Sunday from 6 p.m. until 1 a.m. And then Monday through Friday, we do 2 streams daily from 1 p.m. Eastern until 4 p.m. and then back at 6 p.m. until midnight. I'd love to see you. Come hang out, ask some questions, get to know the community. Until the next time we see each other, be safe, be sexy, touch a butt.